Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Because obviously there's a lot going on in the world right now and lots of people want simple basic ideas of how to make food go a long way and how to cook family meals that are healthy for the whole family in bulk ingredients that are really easy to get hold of. So what I thought I'd start doing is doing some Facebook Lives of the sorts of things that I'm cooking at the moment. So I'm trying to keep this pretty real, as you can see. I've just been pulling apart a cooked chicken. As you can see, there's certainly nothing glamorous about my kitchen. It's from the 1950s. I'm supposed to be getting it ripped out in the next week or so and a new one. Put up with it for 2 years, so I reckon I've done pretty well. So tonight, what's on the menu is just a chicken soup. All up, I reckon this is probably going to cost... We got an organic free-range chook from the markets on the weekend, and I reckon it's probably a $20 to $22 meal, and that will give us six serves. So that's like, what, $3.50, $4 a meal. There's lots of chicken in it, lots of veggies, like a beautiful broth, so it ticks a lot of boxes, and it does require a bit of organisation, but all up prep time, probably only about half an hour, but you've just got to do that in 3 stints. So I'm going to provide the recipe in the next couple of days, but basically what I did in a nutshell was when I left this morning, about a litre and a half of water. It was about a 1.6 kilo chook, so it was a pretty big chook. And I just put it in the slow cooker on low for, I think I got home at about 3:30. I did a Skype, my last client wanted a remote consult. And I just cooked it in low, and then what happens when you cook a chook in the slow cooker on low is you just get this beautiful meat. So you can see I've pulled apart a lot of the meat here for the soup already, and then the rest I've just put in a little container so we can have that later. I'll probably put it in the freezer. Maybe we can have it next week with just a basic salad, or, you know, there's heaps of different things you could even turn that little bit of meat into. So I put it in the slow cooker with a litre and a half of water, a couple of bay leaves, just some whole cloves of garlic and some salt and pepper, and just some dried herbs, just like maybe a teaspoon of dried oregano. So what I ended up with was a whole chook, and then I ended up with this homemade broth. So this is just literally the liquid that came off the chook, and all I did with this was I put it through a strainer, just a normal strainer that, meant that I strained off all the bits of garlic and the chunks of bay leaves and stuff before I actually put it in the fridge for a while. And then, so it's been in the fridge for about 3 hours, so I was able to skim off a little bit of the fat that settled on the top. But at the end of the day, this is full of all minerals that would have come off that chook as it cooked. Lots of collagen, just lots of really good nutrition in that. And then the third step, so after I pulled apart my chook just then, which took about, 5-10 minutes to pull all the meat off the bone. Karma got some skin, of course. What I did was, in the food processor, I just threw a whole I chopped it up roughly, a sweet potato, an onion, 3 carrots, and about 3 stalks of celery. And I chopped them roughly, then I threw them in the food processor because I couldn't be bothered finally chopping them. And then obviously you can see I'm left with there's probably about 7 cups of raw veggies there. And then I've also got a can of just legumes. So in this case, bologna beans. You could use anything. You could use chickpeas. You could use butter beans, whatever I just had a can of those left in the cupboard, and I thought, great, I'll get rid of them. So all I'm going to do now is I've just got a big heavy base saucepan here. And I'm just going to kick it off with a bit of olive oil. Just to wet the pan, and then all I'm going to do, I'll wait till that gets hot. I'm going to cook off my veggies, and I'm going to strain the brine off these legumes, and I'll just cook it all for about probably 7 or 8 minutes until everything softens. And then I'm just going to throw my broth in the veggies as well, or on top of the veggies. And because they're so finely chopped, they won't take very long to cook. I'll throw my chicken meat on top of that as well, and I'll probably give it about 10 to 15 minutes to cook thoroughly, and for some of those, you know, the flavour from the chicken as well to cook through the soup. And I may or may not, I'll see how bulky the soup looks. I might add a little bit of I've got some like legume pasta and some spelt pasta and things like that, which I might add. But I'll probably leave it as is because I think I've got enough ingredients. I'm aiming to get about 6 serves out of this soup, so dinner tonight and then lunch for us for the next couple of days. And in terms of garnishes, I've got a bit of shallot that needs using up, and I think there's some fresh coriander in there or something, which I might throw in too. And actually I'm going to throw a chili into this as well, just to give it a bit of a kick. And that's it. So that's a really basic chicken soup, and then leftover chook for when you just desperately need some protein to throw with something. I'll pop the recipe up in the next couple of days, but I'll have lots of other quick, easy meal ideas coming your way over the next couple of weeks. Thanks for tuning in.